All right, so Nito, since we started commentating, we've seen a disconnect, we've seen two 3-0 sweeps, we've seen Bo become a frontline, but now one last match to be played, and this is probably one of the most important. This is easily one of the most important matches for both these teams. It is going to be Ascension Rising versus Black Squid Inkburger. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to round 6 of Low Ink Day 1. It is the final round of the day, and honestly, we just said, probably one of the most important ones that we have seen because both of these teams are going to be vying for a precious spot in potentially, alpha bracket. Nito, what do you think is going to go down here?
Well, here's the thing. We're at round 6. These two teams are 3-2. And 4-2, like I said, is no man's land for any team looking to make the alpha bracket. So what you want to do is come in here with all guns, just go all guns blazing. Good news is that Black Squid Inkburger has all the experience in the world. They're one of the most well-tenured teams in all of competitive Splatoon, but Ascension Rising has a very solid roster, at least from what we've seen in the past and what they've been able to bring to the table in previous Low Inks. 13th in November 2025, they were 29th in December 2025, and also on the side of Black Squid Inkburger, multiple alpha bracket appearances throughout all of 2025, so lots to see from both of these teams, and certainly there's no bounds to what they were going to be able to bring out to the table.
Yeah, both of these teams have a very illustrious backgrounds. They have what it takes to prove that they can belong up in the top dogs of alpha brackets. We are going to be getting set for game number 1. We see another tri-stringer on the side of Ascension Rising. We also see the custom range blaster and ink brush on the side for splats. For Squid Inkburger, it's kind of a more typical comp. You'd see the roller, actually. You don't see a lot of rollers, but there's the first trade of the game. It is going to be the CRB and the 52 gal.
And with Black Squid Inkburger, they're running something that's more conventional. You see 2 shooters, a pencil, and a roller, which is somewhat unorthodox, but certainly not something you wouldn't expect to come out of the team in today's competitive Splatoon world. So look at Little Whip on the top of the screen there. Only one within a country mile there takes out Emmy there, but Rocket able to clean things up. Black Squid Inkburger has all the experience in the world, but that's not to say Ascension Rising doesn't have something to bring to this table, because they certainly do. A lot of them, Rocket especially, with a deeper knowledge of the game. Rocket, as you all might know, a frequent commentator here in IPL and other events around the competitive Splatoon world.
Yeah, a lot of these people definitely have made a name for themselves on and off the pitch. Little Whip going to throw out these strikes. The Splats is going to drop down. The Splats kind of really opting to take a lot of off angles. Little Whip is going to find themselves splatted before they can try to take out Kitty on this tri-stringer. But that is enough for them to get a lead swap for them as well. But Ascension Rising is crashing. Ascension Rising takes the tower. But they have to be very careful here, especially with this 52 gal in the middle of the map here. They got to be very careful because that thing kills you very fast. Especially with some of the previous shot velocity buffs that it got. Is going to find the Kraken cancel on Emmy. And Kitty's off in the corner. They will find themselves on the opposite end that they don't want to be on the 52 gal.
Right. And with Black Squid Inkburger certainly making away, they're going to need to look out for splats on the brush here. Look at splats. Got to be something to watch out for Callium here, because you're going to go down very quickly if you don't, just like we saw early, just like we saw right there. Taka able to get the best of splats, but the damage is already done for this team. There's still a few people trying to make away. Actually, I would point out, Little Whip was deep within enemy territory there. It's also because of that 52 gal was able to help him out. But that's what I like about Black Squid Inkburger. Certainly not afraid to take these risky gambles, and most of them have been paying off throughout this matchup. So even when they went quite a few players down, with that jump, you were still able to keep the pressure on Ascension Rising. So we'll hope to see more of that as we progress through the match.
Yeah, Splats finding one pick onto one. It's going to find a second pick with this hammer. They're going to keep going with this hammer. Splats being a big X Factor. They're going to find a hammer throw onto Callium and going to get that flow aura activated. Emmy with the CRB They can command so much space, especially under especially under any ledges. But look out on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger. This 52 gal has been off on the side, and Kitty has to be careful with where they're going because he is still sharking. He's still lurking, but he is not gonna get the splat onto one. Rocket gonna find one. Might find a second one here. He's gonna help out his teammate Emmy, but they will go down. Rocket, now it's their turn to get full aura, but Taco with the bubble, or Take rather, actually, excuse me. They will start progressing this tower back towards mid, but Rocket is there to keep it progressing more towards. Here comes the hammer from Splats underneath that tent. They got to be careful where they might be, but Take, they also have to be careful. Kitty does sniff out Take's hiding spot, but right now it is trying to see what they can do. 52 gal has the aura activated, and it is going to be a bit more of a stall fight again here. Splats trying to see if they can find this pick onto 52 gal, but they cannot.
It's been a stall for both of these teams so far, and with a minute to go, it almost seems like Black Squid Ink Burger is comfortable leaving this 49 remaining where it is. I did see some more aggression from the earlier stages of the game. We'll see if we can see more of that within 1 minute of the match, but maybe we don't need to because they're already, Ascension Rising is already 3 players down. That's a wipe closed out by this 52 gal on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger. 50 seconds to go, and look at where they're at. They're doing it very well, trying to cover as much ground as they can, get it all the way up in enemy territory, but have to watch out for that brush once again. Okay, might actually see it coming here. Kaylee, do they see it as well? Maybe not, because the blaster is right in front of them. They have double trouble from 2 sides of the map, but they cleaned it up very well there, covered a second checkpoint.
Yeah, and Take is sitting up there up by the tent. Everybody's jumping in for Black Squid Ink Burger, and right now it's Kitty trying to see if they can get anything. Splats is going to go down to the roller. Kind of not the exact matchup that you want to take, especially against something like that. But Ascension Rising, they do have a bit of life in them. There's a wipeout and under 10 seconds remaining on this clock. They're going to have to make sure they're on the tower to be sure to trigger overtime here. But it is now their turn to try to see if they can get a push going. They're going to have to get a lot going for them if they want to take a win back in the series. They have a lot of specials at their disposal. Here comes the hammer from Splats. Here comes the strikes as well. They still have the whale and the kraken as well, but no, Take is gonna pull off the flank and find their way onto the tower. Black Squid Ink Burger steals game 1 back from Ascension Rising's noses.
And it looked confident from Black Squid Ink Burger. I mean, past that halfway point, past the minute marker, they even added more points after I said, okay, things look a little stall-worthy here in the middle. Things look like they haven't really progressed from either side. Too bad! Black Squid Ink Burger finds 3 players, finds a wipeout, and all of a sudden they're deep within enemy territory, and they have all the advantages of the world that they could have at that moment. So Black Squid Ink Burger certainly taking advantage of what was a wide open map after that wipeout, and that's what I like to see from teams within low ink. So I want to see if they have those opportunities and they take advantage of them so well, that this next match, Splat Zones of Barnacle and Dime, could prove to be very helpful for them.
Yeah, right now it's a bit of do or die territory for Ascension Rising, especially with the alpha bracket hopes. But not only is this win pivotal to possibly secure them a possible spot, this is still a theoretical alpha bracket spot, because once you're going to get a 4-2 record. You're either going to get alpha bracket or beta bracket, honestly, depending on what the tiebreakers are. Because at that point, you just have to sit there and honestly pray that the tiebreakers will go into your favor, because there's a lot of tiebreakers to be said. You have your losses against tied opponents, your opponent win percentage, your match win-loss record, and your opponent's map win percentage average, as well as a bunch of the tiebreakers that you have for all of these possible ways to get yourself a higher placement above other teams at the same record as you. But one other thing too to mention, both of these teams are sitting on 3-2 records. They are currently in Group B, because we are in Group B for this match. They are the top 3 teams with a 3-2 record. Both are sitting in beta bracket, just a few spots shy of an alpha bracket placement, but there's a lot of 4-1 teams above them, and there's also still a 5-0 team. That team is definitely going to be securing their spot in alpha bracket. Wet Up is the team in question, 15-0 record. Nobody seems to be able to stop them, but both of these teams, 1, they have to win the set, and 2, they honestly have to hope that everything goes into their favor to possibly secure them a spot in Alpha Bracket.
The one thing I like about Black Squid Ink Burger is that they play so fast after getting a numbers advantage as big as a 3 down or a wipe situation. So Barnacle and Dime was as flat as it is and as much as it allows for that kind of movement. I believe this game 2 is going to be one where they could seal the deal, but Ascension Rising needs to be able to take that same level of advantage. Otherwise, it's going to be very rough for them this next match.
Yeah, we do see that. We see the Super Chump Bow come out from the side of Ascension Rising, and we see the Zuka Mini Splatling on the side of Squid Ink Burger. I almost got myself confused. I think there's a bit of a mix-up in the colors here. But Black Squid Ink Burger will get first cap of the zone, but Splat's already going back in behind, gonna find one. But that is 3 down for Squid Ink Burger, and that is going to be a lead swap. And actually, no, as I say that, that is a wipeout for Ascension Rising. This is their time to especially make sure they keep this really up high. We saw Splats lay down an Ink Mine right on that tiny little ramp there. They are way up behind enemy lines, trying to see if they can get anything. They will find the pick on the roller in the back, but that seems to be possibly a chance, an opening, if you may, for Black Squid Ink Burger. But watch out for Emmy's Crack, and Whip is trying to do what they can, but they can't escape from Ascension Rising. And it is a firm hold right now from AR as Black Squid Ink Burger is trying to see what they can do to get back into the zone.
Ascension Rising's pick on the roller was huge at that moment, because when Black Squid Ink Burger moved in to try to get Ascension Rising off of their backs, they had one less player to work with, and in that position where they were would have been huge to have them where they were, but unfortunately it doesn't work out for Ink Burger. Ascension Rising making the most out of a situation like that. If they can keep that up for the rest of this matchup, they're going to be in great shape, but Black Squid Ink Burger currently piling up the numbers here, already at 58 remaining, and it's going to continue unless Splats has anything to say about it. They do have a hammer online and on standby. They're able to get one pick for it. Can we see another? We're not going to see it soon enough because that hammer expires and they are back in control.
Yeah, it was a very good retake from Ascension Rising. Probably not as fast as they wanted it to be, but it was still a retake. But as we say that, 2 go down from Black Squid Ink Burger, especially in assisting from Whip's Azuka. And here comes Take with this roller, is gonna find Rocket, but the strikes do come out, but only 2 come out. That third one does not come out, and it was not, even if it was, well, the first one was not exactly on target on the zone. Black Squid Ink Burger back in control of the zone, and they have a pretty good hold right now, but Take is going to be taking a lot of damage to Ascension Rising's bow. But with the Zuka ready, they have a lot of space that they can command. They will find the kitty on that Zuka. Here comes the hammer. Here comes that Kraken. And Whip is going to have to back up themselves up. Splats finds one with the roller, or with the Ultra Stamp rather, and is going to be trying to see if they can get the paint, but looks like it's just him versus the pencil, and Brush versus pencil is not a fight that can really be won. But no, here comes the gal from Squid Ink Burger. They will find the whale, but a penalty did get tacked on to Squid Ink Burger. But now it is kind of Ascension Rising still on the back foot here. Nito, they have to find something really special if they want to try to get this game back into their control.
I don't know if I've seen anyone work the angles quite as well as I've seen that 52 work the angle in that fight where they nearly collected 3 players on the side of Ascension Rising, but Ink Burger looking as clean as ever before. This is the Ink Burger we saw in the last game, and it's what we're seeing right now. Ascension Rising has a very limited time. They're gonna have to force something out of it, but for a team that's been struggling so far to take advantage of these advantages, the last thing you want to do is force something out of thin air. And that results in a 2-0 win. 2-0 for Black Squid Ink Burger. Ascension Rising has one more game to go, but the score has been pretty much settled here.
Yeah, right now, I think, honestly, this third game will be one very important. It'd be very important for Black Squid Ink Burger to win, because this could have tiebreaker implications if they manage to take the third game, which is going to be on Rainmaker Scorch Gorge. Like, Black Squid Ink Burger, they already take the set. That's already a big win for them. That definitely puts them in the running for possibly making Alpha Bracket. But getting that extra win can be, even though it's one of the later tiebreakers that are in the for low ink bracket tiebreakers, but if they win this could be very, very important for them, especially once everything is said and done and the dust settles, especially with how rowdy round 6 of groups can be. But Ascension Rising, they will have to unfortunately settle with the possible fact that not only will they probably get either beta or gamma, probably more gamma, but there's also a chance if tiebreakers don't go in their favor, they could be having themselves looking on the outside looking in rather. It's going to be very interesting to see how both of these teams are going to get impacted once round 6 is all finished.
One more match to go. Rainmaker on Scorch Gorge. Still a map and mode I see highly favoring Black Squid Ink Burger. I mean, they've been exceptionally mobile. They've been exceptionally ambitious with their pushes. So I could see this going similarly to how the last 2 games have gone. Ascension Rising, though, they brought a lot more to the table in that second match. They still have the opportunity to take one back in in game 3. So I want to see what adjustments they bring to the table. I mean, looking at it, it looked like they were the first ones to have all their adjustments done, if there were any. But regardless, game 3 coming up right now. Rainmaker on Scorch Gorge.
Yeah, honestly, kind of saying on that, it did look like, I honestly thought Ascension Rising had that second game down, but no, Black Squid Ink Burger refound their footing and we were able to bring it back. And we do see the Glamour splatter shot on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger and the heavy splatling from Callium. They are going to be ditching that cooler, but that's going to put them at a bit of a disadvantage because Kitty is going to switch from bow to pencil. But here comes the 52 gal on the right side. That's 2 down for Squid Ink, or for Ascension Rising, and actually make that 3. The gal's gonna find the jump onto Splats, and that is gonna be the first checkpoint already. Just not even half a minute in, and Black Squid Ink Burger is already getting a good lead in.
Right, and it looks like they've already done well into Ascension Rising territory. They are this close to getting the KO, but this wipeout might certainly seal things for them. 2 players left to pick up this Rainmaker. Splats is the only one who can defend against it. They go down very quickly here, and this is a lot like what we saw in round 5, Jay. I mean, this was less than 51 seconds, I'll give it that, but Black Squid Ink Burger, as quickly as we were introduced to game 3, ends game 3 with a 3-0 sweep.
That was like, I thought that the Undertow Rainmaker we saw earlier was fast. Black Squid Ink Burger said, how about we do you one better, honestly. I was not thinking, like, it was a big pick from, especially the original triple from, it looks like it was the 52 gal, because I don't think I can pronounce their name, honestly. For Black Squid Ink Burger, they found 2, they got the ore, and then they caught Splats' jump as they were jumping back to try to find, because they were way out of position. And honestly, I think that was the catalyst for that giant snowball that Black Squid Ink Burger did, as they find themselves really honestly hoping and praying that destiny swings into their favor going into this, as all the standings are going to be updating as we go. Looks like they were honestly one of the first teams actually to finish in Group B, but we'll have to see what is going to be happening. Ascension Rising, they are still seated up pretty high, honestly. Looking at the group right now, if I can find them, that is actually. Ascension Rising, they are still sitting in a position to possibly make Gamma Bracket, but it is a very low seeding for them right now, and it is not the position they are wanting, because their tiebreakers are kind of a bit in their favor. They didn't lose against any current 3-3 opponents. They have a pretty high opponent win percentage, and they did, on an 8-10 match win record. Tiebreakers could possibly screw them over, could possibly bless them. We'll have to see. As for Black Squid Ink Burger, we'll have to look at this here. They are currently still seeded for beta bracket right now, but also no losses against